Alright, this is GSU weather with the 2 p.m. update. Alright, let's get into it. This is my first video update since yesterday morning, so a lot has changed, but we're going to go ahead and just kind of tackle as much as we can here in the next 10 minutes. Alright, so last night, Hurricane Irma made contact with the northern coast of Cuba and has been pretty much skirting along the coast ever since, and is starting to begin to pull away. Right now, the center location is 22.8 degrees north, 79.8 degrees west. The maximum sustained winds is at 125 miles per hour, and movement is west at 9 miles per hour. Alright, what I expect is I expect it to begin to start pulling away from the Cuban coast, and as you see, this cone right here is it has it pretty much skirting along the western side of Florida. Alright, and then moving into the Georgia area. And you may say, if you're in southwest Georgia, or if you're in southeast Georgia, you're like, oh, well, we're in the cone, or we're not in the cone. The cone doesn't matter at this point. That's just where the center of the storm will be. But as you can see, now where the storm is right now, the outline, the yellowish orange, is the tropical storm force wind field. It is massive, and it's actually just going to grow. Alright, so it doesn't matter where that storm is in the cone. The vast majority of South Georgia, South of Macon, is going to experience some type of tropical storm force winds. This is the satellite imagery of Irma. As you see, it's skirting along the northern tip of Cuba. Northern coast of Cuba, however, and as it starts, you see slightly pulling away at the end to begin its northward journey. Alright, so let's get into a lot of watches and warnings that we have going on right now. This is for southwest Georgia. Right here, as you see, it's littered with tropical storm watches and hurricane watches for portions of southwest and south Georgia, going as far north as Dougherty County, in Albany, and I think that's Worth County, yeah, Worth County, and then over there to Tifton and Moultrie and Valdosta. And then let's go over here to Charleston area. As you see, Statesboro is in a tropical storm watch, and along the coast is under a hurricane watch, and along the coast is under a storm surge watch, which we will get into real quick right here. Alright, as of right now, this is what we're expecting as in terms of storm surge. As like I said, it doesn't take, the center doesn't have to be near the Savannah area for it to get this storm surge threat. Right now, what we're thinking is somewhere in the term of 3 to 6 feet of storm surge, give or take, wherever you are on the coast. This could potentially go up depending on where Irma tracks. So you need to be safe in this area. Okay, I want to talk about, we can talk about real quick the wind field threat right here in southwest Georgia. Alright, so what I expect for southwest Georgia is at the height of your worst weather, you can expect sustained winds of anywhere from 50 to 70 miles per hour. I would not be surprised to see a gust up to 90 miles per hour, but that will be very isolated. You're probably going to be dealing with widespread power outages here, and a lot of trees and stuff on the road, lots of rain. That's your main threat here. You know, you should already be prepared, or if you're not, go ahead and be to the end of your preparation for southwest and south Georgia, as the weather will begin to start deteriorating over the next 48 hours. Over here in the Charleston area, which is Statesboro and southeast Georgia, what we can expect is at our worst winds, you can probably expect that to begin late, super late, Sunday night into Monday afternoon into Monday evening, with winds anywhere from 40 to 60. So pretty much staying steady at about 50 miles an hour over the course of a couple of hours, with wind gusts as high as 70 And so for these people in this area, for the Statesboro, Sylvania area, pretty much winds equivalent to what Matthew did. What we experienced then, during Matthew, we experienced about the same wind threat, and you saw what that did with the power outages and trees down. But what I want to get into, especially for this area over here, is there's a much greater tornado threat. All right, and I have these images. These are courtesy of Dr. Greg Forbes. This is for Sunday night. For our area in the Georgia area, it's at a 5, which is a 50% chance of a tornado within a certain area of where you live. And anytime other than a hurricane, that's fairly significant, so we should treat it as such. But as we get into Monday and Monday night, we see that go up to an 8. The potential for tornadoes is there. Brief, isolated tornadoes in this sense. You will get, if a tornado pops up, you'll get little to no warning. And the reason is these things spin up really quick and die out really quick. And it's sometimes almost impossible to forecast where exactly they will pop up. But I expect, as far as tornado warnings, as the length of Irma, from tornado warnings from Florida up to Georgia, I expect there to be somewhere between 100 and 150 warnings, somewhere along there by the time this is all said and done. As far as rain for these areas, if you're in the Statesboro area, which is the majority of my people are, I would expect somewhere between 7 to 9 inches of rain with isolated pockets of 10 to 12 inches. And this just depends on where the outer band's set up, you know, and where we get those greatest thunderstorms to set up. But that's pretty much, I'll go back to this so you can see it one last time. This is pretty much all I have right now. As you see, the wind threat for South Georgia and Southwest Georgia is a little bit elevated compared to Southeast Georgia, but I would not focus so much on the wind threat as the tornado threat for parts of Southeast Georgia. If you're on the coast in Savannah or all the way down to the bottom near Jacksonville, you have to be worried about storm surge and potential for hurricane force winds, since you are so close to the coast and nothing really is there to have stopped the winds from dying down. And see, it doesn't really matter if the storm is sitting over the western part of Florida, because it's so massive, you can still get those hurricane force gusts near Savannah, near Brunswick, near St. Simons, you know, those islands, those barrier islands, and even a little bit inland, a couple miles. But I still expect, you know, this to be, I expect over the course of Macon South, I expect widespread power outages, especially in South and Southwest Georgia. But as far as these warnings and watches go, let me zoom out for you real quick. In this area, right there, south of Macon, Dublin, Americus by day, I expect at some point y'all to be put under a tropical storm watch, if not by the end of today. But that's all I have right now. This is GSU Weather signing out, and I will try to get another update later tonight as things start evolving and we see which way Irma happens to be going. All right, thank you so much.